Say hi.
Hi.
All right. Think back to high school. Think about all the time you spent studying, all the sacrifices you made, and how nervous you were when sending out your first application for college. You had a great GPA, you filled out all the proper required documents, and you had your counselor read over it. You sent in the application, and after 2 months of waiting on the answer, you receive a letter in the mail. You really have no doubt about getting in the school of your choice because you had done well in high school to ensure your acceptance. You open up the letter and you read those dreaded words. Sorry, but we cannot accept you into our college due to your SAT scores being too low. Your heart drops to the ground, and you can't believe that your future is being altered because of a standardized test. Today, I would like to inform you that standardized testing is not a true way of acknowledging what you have learned or your abilities. Since I have been through the process of applying to colleges, taking many standardized tests, and not doing the best on my SATs, I feel like I know how much of a drag these tests are. I was one of those students who worked their butt off in the classroom, always studied for tests, and made all the sacrifices. Unfortunately, I'm just a poor test taker. I do not do well when put under time tests. The biggest time this has ever had a major effect on me is standardized tests is the SAT and the ACT. I received a lower score than expected just because I'm not good at taking that type of test that educators believe everyone should be conformed to. I can vouch to this because I do well on most other kinds of tests and teaching styles. Because I did poorly on the SAT, I lost out on tuition money. We have all taken a standardized test that at one point or another in our lives. However, the way that they've affected our lives varies. We may feel no effect at all, but some people are truly struggling with the consequences of poor scores on these tests. Are you one of these individuals? These are significant ways in which standardized testing has proved to be insufficient in testing our knowledge and abilities. So I will inform you on how it constricts classroom growth, creativity, how students learn, how students are directly affected, and some solutions to the problem. The first long-term effect from putting too much emphasis on standardized testing is the constriction of classroom growth, creativity, and the way we learn. Standardized testing puts a strain on students and teachers to expand within a classroom. Teachers are so focused on teaching the curriculum and preparing students for standardized testing that they lose the ability to teach students how to succeed beyond the high school level. Many students have different types of learning styles. Standardized tests only relates to one type of student. American author and lecturer Alfie Kohn says, standardized testing kills intellectual curiosity, beats down innovative teachers, and set up large groups of students to fail. According to www.fairtest.org, their standardized testing use encourages a narrow curriculum, outdated methods of instruction, harmful practices such as retention and grading and tracking. The testing encourages rote learning in which the memory is more important than the meaning. Students are so concerned with passing the test in order for it to not affect their lives that they forget that they should be actually learning the material for their future. How many of you have focused so much on memorizing for a test that once you took the test you forgot everything you learned? Everyone. Alfie Kohn also says, they don't measure deep thinking, they don't measure the ability to apply, connect desperate ideas. They don't measure irony or creativity or decency. By constricting the classroom of growth and creativity, our education system is setting up students to fail. Standardized testing can have a very negative effect on a student's life post-high school. According to www.earnmydegree.com, a high school graduate makes $1.2 million in their lifetime, whereas a college graduate makes $2.1 million. Another repercussion for doing poorly on college entrance exam is not receiving financial aid to go to college. Franklin costs around $40,000. For students that do poorly on standardized tests, they may not have the option to attend a great school like Franklin. Those of you who feel like you have been affected by standardized testing, there are always ways in which we can address this issue in ways in the classroom that can better measure our learning. There are better ways to evaluate student learning rather than using standardized testing. The first way to evaluate student learning would be performance-based assessments. Allow students to show what they know by performing, creating, and thinking outside of the box. This allows students to express their abilities in different ways rather than just standardized testing. Imagine a world where everyone was given an equal chance and was evaluated fairly on their knowledge. This is not how our current society is. Some really smart people are not given a chance at higher education because they are automatically pushed aside when admissions see their test scores. This is not fair. I hope after hearing how standardized testing constricts classroom growth, affects creativity, and the way students learn, you understand that there needs to be a change so students are not prevented from going to college or receiving financial aid for college. Although standardized tests are insufficient in acknowledging our growth in the classroom and our overall abilities, it is still at this time highly recommended to go to college. Standardized tests are decreasing people's worth and chances of getting into a school that they are worthy of. I challenge you all to be aware of this unfair judging and to help inform others so that we together can voice for a change.
Say hello, Carol.